Welcome to Comics on a Pyre, a channel to have a meaningful conversation over movies, life, books, and shows, and maybe just a spot to spend time BSing over comics. If you like your entertainment with a bit of substance, then you, my vagabond friend, have come to the right tavern. Tether your horse by the post and come right on in and warm yourself by the fire. Tap that subscribe button, and for the next few minutes, my fellow George Carlin reprobate, lend me your ear. Let me ask you something, viewer. Have you ever loved something as a kid? Had fond memories of it. For example, a movie or cartoon show, and go back to it years later and take a look at it and say, this is garbage. Why the hell did I love this when I was young? You know right then and there that that comic, song, or book was for you at that particular moment in time, for that period of your life. It has not stood the test of time. And today, that is what I want to talk about. As the title of this video suggests, these are my own personal favorite artists to draw these particular comic book characters. For whatever reason, call it nostalgia, call it superficial, just cosmetic even. But from time to time, and in some instances over many years, I go back to these issues and read these stories, and I get totally submerged in them again, largely due to the artwork. Keep in mind, a lot of times I don't feel as though these artists are the best in the industry. Hell, if you want to know the truth, Jim Lee, I feel, can draw anything and is just about the best artist in the industry alive today. It's hard for me to take my eyes off of his work, but strangely, as you will see, he is not even on this list. Which goes to show you, to me, each of these particular artists draw these certain characters extremely well. It just seems to fit it perfectly. If they drew other characters, they might not look good. In fact, they probably look like garbage. But for these certain ones, for me, it's like magic, watching your favorite heroes come to life. So without further ado, let's begin. The way Dale Cohn draws the Incredible Hulk is simply astounding, brutal, and fierce. The character seems solid on page, very three-dimensional. It's almost as if the Hulk has a sense of weight to him, solid, firm, tangible. His body is ripped, with muscles bulging and tendons straining, giving the Green Goliath a true sense of raw, brutal, animalistic danger to him. I am not sure which one I like more, the black and white or fully colored versions of him. Next is Todd McFarlane. I still remember as a child walking into the comic shop and picking up one of his issues. The stories, I believe, were just, okay, nothing fantastic. But what got me hooked, I would say, was really the artwork. And I do not think I am alone when I say this as a child. At the time, there was absolutely nothing like it. The web formation was chaotic, zigzagging all over the panel. Spider-Man looked like a contortionist with his feet over his head. He actually subconsciously looked like an anthropomorphic spider, with his limbs in areas that in any normal person, they should not have been. Plus, Todd drew women hot as hell. Next, Mark Texeira. His Ghost Rider rendition is dark, gothic, and moody. I hate the way this artist draws just about every other superhero, but with old Flamehead, he seems to get it spot on. His heavy on the dark atmospheric drawings suck you right in when you're reading his issues. Ghost Rider really lends himself well to this style because of his horror-themed undertones. Sometimes you forget that Flamehead is supposed to be the good guy in these comics. And in these comics, the bad guys are bad, but the hero, man, he can rarely scare the bejesus out of you. This next artist, he really needs no introduction. Neil Adams has been drawing comics since before I was born. Literally, he has drawn many heroes and villains. But what I will always remember him for is Batman. The way Adams drew bats, it was something else. The Dark Knight was not cartoony like in past issues, nor overly muscular like you see him in today's comics. He looked like a real person, a middle-aged man that you would pass in the streets today. Only if he kept himself up physically though. Every panel felt full, in detail, and there was no skimping in the action department either. But what sucked me, as well as other readers are in, I would say, was Batman's facial animation, specifically the eyes. Oh yes, the eyes. And last but not least, an artist that I place near and dear to my heart, Klaus Janson. His run with Frank Miller is just amazing, but I believe more so because this is a true instance where art marries storytelling perfectly. Frank's influence on The Man Without Fear cannot be denied, but I also believe Klaus helped make Didi seem like he leapt off of the pages. Janson's art style is by no means fancy. In fact, I would say that it's simple, and I believe all the more better for it. Daredevil is in Hell's Kitchen, a dirty, depraved section of New York City, and Klaus's artwork fits right at home here. It's not flashy, but dirty. In fact, Didi in a lot of panels looks stringy and starving, as if he has to fight for his next meal. But at the same time, some panels have sparks of beauty to them. By all means, if you have not read Frank Miller's Klaus Janson's run, you owe it to yourself to do so. It heavily influenced the Netflix series. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Well, there you go. My personal favorite artists to draw specific characters. Which artists are your favorites? Again, I'm not looking for the best artists in the industry, but ones that you feel fit certain characters like magic. Drop a line in the comment sections below. Check out my YouTube channel, Comics on the Pyre, for other videos like this one. Tap on that bell icon before you go. And oh yes, as always, until next time, keep reading, my friends.